Okay, great. Amazing, thank you. And thanks for that compliment. So we're going to just start. Oh God, this is my hair. We're going to just start now. And I'm just going to give a few ground rules before we start. Okay, I'm going to stop the chat because it's going to distract me. Okay, so a few ground rules. We're going to start. First of all, welcome to everybody who has joined. My name is Sheyo Basi. I'm the host of today's webinar. It's good afternoon from Ontario, Canada, where I live, and I'm sure it's good evening in Nigeria, in Ghana, and most of the West African countries. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining us from. So this is how it's going to look like. Somebody says they can't hear me, but I'm sure that a lot of other people can hear. There's no audio. There is audio. I think it's loud and clear. Okay. So maybe you check your audio. Loud and clear. Good. So long as some people say it's loud and clear. So if you can't hear, probably check the audio settings of your Zoom. You might have, that's where the issue might be coming from. So, so we're going to start. First of all, I'm going to do a presentation on the express entry. And because this is the first time I'm actually doing this presentation, it's going to be a little bit detailed. It might take a little bit of time. And during the presentation, I'm going to stop I'm a little bit distracted by the chat. Okay, so I'm going to stop the chat when I start the presentation so that it doesn't distract us and we can actually pay attention to what I'm saying. And then I also want to say that I have a little bit of issues with my internet. Not my internet, my laptop actually. So it's possible that I might be cut off. So if I'm cut off, I will join back. Yeah, so if I'm cut off, just stay on and I will be joining back. So please, everybody should know that if I am cut off for any reason, give me a few minutes to come back, okay? Because my laptop has been doing that lately. And then when I'm done with the presentation, we can now ask questions. So I'm going to start sharing my screen so that we can get through the presentation and then you can get a better understanding of what the express entry is. And then you can also, of course, ask your questions as you want. So I'm going to start with screen share and I'm going to stop the chats while I do that. 1 second. Oh. Just give me 1 second, I'm getting there. Okay. So if you can actually see my screen, just raise your hand, please, so that I can start. If you can see the screen, I need to confirm that everybody can see the screen. Amazing. So we can see the screen, I can start talking. Okay, so good afternoon and good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining. Today, we're going to be talking about the step-by-step guide that you can use to come to Canada as a permanent resident, skilled worker, and you can come with your family. So this is a route that you can actually use to come together with your family at once, and then you can come into Canada as a permanent resident. So it confirms you as a permanent resident even before you come to Canada. So that's how it's different from a lot of the other routes that are out there. So 1 second now. Okay, so in 2015, Canada started what is called the Express Entry. It's a pathway to permanent residence for skilled workers, which means that you are confirmed as a permanent resident before you come to Canada. So you come to Canada as a permanent resident, which is really awesome and really sweet. So you don't have any issues. You land as a permanent resident and you get all the benefits of a permanent resident. Now, there are 3 routes to the express entry. It's called the Federal Economic Immigration Programs. There's the Federal Skilled Worker Program, the Federal Skilled Trades Program, and the Canadian Experience Class. Now, the 4th one, they're called the Express Entry Streams of the Provincial Nominee Program. It's not really a federal economic immigration program, but it also uses the express entry as a stream to get candidates to their province. Now, a lot of the things I'm going to be saying might be sounding strange, but as I go along, you're going to understand. I know there are some people here who already know about the express entry, but you understand as we go along. So for most people who are outside of Canada, what they will fit into is the Federal Skilled Worker Program. If you haven't come to Canada to work, you're probably not going to fit into the Canadian Experience Class. And the Federal Skilled Trades Program is a little bit different. And then we'll talk about that as we go. But then most of you on this call will fit into the Federal Skilled Worker Program. And that is where I'm going to concentrate the most of today's presentation. So the Federal Skilled Worker Program is for skilled workers who have foreign work experience. That means you have work experience outside of Canada, and you must meet the criteria for education and other factors, which we're going to talk about. The Federal Skilled Trades Program is for skilled workers who are qualified in a skilled trade. Yeah, and then we'll talk about that, of course, when we get there. The Canadian Experience Class is for skilled workers who have Canadian work experience. So for example, if you're in Canada as a student, you can qualify for this because after studying, of course, you get your work permit and then you work. And after 1 year or whatever number of months, you can apply for the express entry under the Canadian work experience. And this can only be applied to by people who have work experience, valid work experience in Canada. Okay. Now, how does the express entry work? It's actually a 2-step process. Yeah. Now, the first step, which is step 1, is actually free. You do not really have to pay any money for that. What you just need to do is that you create and submit what is called an express entry profile. And this can be done online on the Canada website. Okay. Now, you just create a profile and submit that profile. But before you are able to submit the profile, you need to submit a language test result. So it can be English language or it can be French, whichever one. You also need to submit an education credential assessment. So that's an ECA that you can get from WES, which is the most popular. You have to submit that with your express entry profile. You also have to have your international passport, and then you provide some personal information. So this is like submitting an expression of intent. You're telling the Canadian government that I'm interested in coming to Canada as a permanent resident, and these are all my documents and my information to show that I want to come to Canada as a permanent resident. Now, once you create your profile, it is valid for 1 year. After 1 year, if you're not called to apply as a permanent resident, your profile would expire. And of course, you can also create another profile. Immediately you create your express entry profile and you submit it, you are entered into what is called the express entry pool. And that pool is where everybody like you who has submitted an express entry profile is entered into, whether they submitted a skilled trades program, a Canadian experience class, whichever one, everybody enters into that pool. And that's where the second step starts. Now, when you get into the pool, you get a score using the comprehensive ranking system. So the express entry is a score-based system, okay? So you're given a score. Now the system considers your work experience, your language ability, your education, your age, and a lot of other factors like, do you have family in Canada? Do you have a valid job offer in Canada? And it uses all of that to create a score for you, yeah? So you have a score. You create an express entry profile, you submit that express entry profile, you are put in the express entry pool, and you have a score. Now, how do you get that score? It's called the comprehensive ranking system. That is what is used to calculate your scores. And the scores are called comprehensive ranking system scores, or CRS. And what this score does is that it ranks you among the other candidates in the pool. And you can only get a maximum of 1,200 points, okay? Now, there are 4 factors that are used to determine your scores. There's the human capital, which is your age, your skilled work experience, your education and your language test, and then the education, language, and work experience of your spouse or your common law partner if you have one. It also uses what is called skills transferability. So it's a combination of your language, education, and work experience. And then you get additional points, or if you have a sibling in Canada, if you have proficiency in 2 languages, that's French and English, or if you have a provincial nomination. And as we go along, you understand this a bit more. Okay, so once you have that score, every 2 weeks, the immigration of Canada Immigration does what is called a draw. So they pick people from the pool, you know, that express entry pool where you are, based on their comprehensive ranking scores. And those who meet up the scores are sent an invitation to apply. It's just like those who do JAMB for people that are in Nigeria. You know, you do JAMB, the most score that you can get for JAMB is 400. And if you wanted to do medicine, for example, and they say that the cutoff for medicine is 300, by the time your JAMB results come out, if you had up to 300 points, 300 over 400, you don't need to beg anybody. You will get an invitation from the school that you have chosen to come and collect your admission letter for medicine. So you have to meet that point. If you don't meet that 300 over 400, then you start looking for, maybe you want to do biology or pharmacy or some other courses that are not up to the score that you got. So that's how the comprehensive ranking score works. So for example, if they do a draw and the point is 400, you have to have scored up to that 400 points to be invited to apply for permanent residence. So that's called the ITA. You are given an invitation to apply. It is only when you have been given an invitation to apply that you can now submit an application for permanent residence. So the thing that you submitted before was just an expression of interest, but now you can now submit an application for permanent residence within 60 days. So if they give you an invitation to apply, you have to apply within 60 days, and the processing time is 6 months. Now, what is the process and what are the requirements? Now, are you eligible to apply? To find out if you're eligible to apply, you have to answer some eligibility questions. There is an express entry eligibility tool on the canada.ca website, or you go and read the detailed requirements for each program. But basically, the minimum requirements are that you have at least 1 year of skilled work experience in the last 10 years in any skilled occupation. And we're going to be talking about what a skilled occupation is. Any skilled occupation for now can be invited to permanent residence in Canada. You must be able to demonstrate an approved language test score in either English or French. Most of us will be English. So you have to have a CLB 7 or a Canadian language benchmark 7, which is having 6 in all the components of the test. So you have 6 in speaking, reading, writing, and listening. But of course, if you want higher points, you have to have more than 6, but 6 is the minimum. And then you have to have completed a post-secondary education that has been assessed using an education credential assessment. So you must have done WES for your post-secondary education. So as long as you have that 1 year of skilled work experience, you have done an English or a French language test, and you have done an education credential assessment, you have the minimum requirements to apply for express entry. But that doesn't mean that you'll be invited, but of course you can apply. Now, how much does it cost? This is a very popular question. Now, there are 2 categories of cost. There's the cost before you apply, before you submit your profile, and there's the cost after you get an invitation to apply. Now, this cost may vary. I've just put these values based on Canadian dollars, but they may vary. Now, you need to do a language test. That's the IELTS. It's about $300 or so, or $250. Then you need to do that education credential assessment, which is the ECA. It's going to cost an average of like $200. These are the only 2 things that you might likely spend money on before you get an invitation to apply. So before you create that express entry profile and submit it, you need your language test, which is your IELTS, and you need that ECA. After you get an invitation to apply, that is when you need to, of course, submit your application, pay your application fees, which is like $13.25 for an adult and $225 for a child, $85 for biometrics if you haven't had biometrics in Canada in the last 10 years. If you've done biometrics in the last 10 years, you don't need to pay again. You need to do your medicals, and then of course you need to get your police clearance certificate. So these are all the costs that you need to be able to apply for permanent residence, from when you need to submit your express entry profile to when you get an invitation to apply. However, you also need to show that you have enough funds to take care of yourself and any family members that are coming with you in Canada, of course, before you settle down and before you get a job. And that is called the proof of funds. And proof of funds is actually based on the number of people in your family. Okay, it's set in stone, yeah, and it changes almost every year or so. Now, this is what the proof of funds is. This table shows the minimum amount you need in Canadian dollars to as of June 9, 2022. So if it's just you that is applied, you need to show 13,310 Canadian dollars. These are all in Canadian dollars. If there are 4 of you in your family, you need 24,733. There are 7 of you, you need 35. And for any additional family member after 7, you need 3,586. Please note that this is only for immediate family members. That's your spouse or your common law partner, your children or your stepchildren or your grandchildren, okay, who are not adults. I can't go into that for now, but they must be immediate family members who qualify to be your dependents. So all the people who have been asking proof of funds, this is proof of funds, and this is the amount that you need before you apply and after you apply. So is there an age limit? No. There's no age limit to apply for express entry, but of course you have to be an adult. You have to be up to 18 for you to apply. But age is one of the factors that determines your comprehensive ranking score. And the truth is that the older you are, the less you score on the age factor. I think the best in age is like from 25 to 29 or 25 to 30, yeah? But of course, the older you are, the more you score on work experience. So the older you are, the more you can score on work experience. But of course, the younger you are, the more you can score on age. So there's a balance in there. However, there are provinces who pick people from this pool irrespective of their age. And if a province picks you, that's an automatic 600 points, and you will definitely be given an invitation to apply. This does not happen all the time, okay? So it happens sporadically. It's not something that you should like put all your eggs in one basket on, but it actually does happen. I've seen provinces pick people from the pool. There was a time BC picked administrative assistants from the pool who had low scores and probably had given up, but they were picked because they were already in the pool. So you have to be in the pool for you to be picked. Like I said before, a provincial nomination is an automatic 600 points. And then, of course, if you get that 600 points, you will always be given an invitation to apply. And then even if you have very low scores in terms of your age, there are other ways that you can increase your chances, even though you're advanced in age. There are other ways that you can increase your comprehensive ranking scores so that you can increase your chance of being given an invitation to apply. Do you need a job offer for express entry? The answer is no. You do not require a job offer for express entry. You apply for express entry without a job, okay? It is when you come to Canada that you start looking for a job. The vast majority of the candidates that are selected for express entry do not have a formal or a valid Canadian job offer. However, if you have a valid Canadian job offer, and then the job offer must be valid. I cannot go into that now. It's not just any job offer. It must be a valid job offer. You can get up to 200 points added to your comprehensive ranking score. You only need a job to apply for a work permit. So a work permit is not the same with express entry. If you have a valid job offer in Canada, you can apply for a work permit and come to Canada to work. That's something different. If you have a valid job offer for express entry, you can also add that to your express entry profile to get that additional 200 points depending on the job that you have, okay? So what if you're a tradesperson? Now in Canada, the definition of tradesperson might be different from your own understanding. So a trades program in Canada are classified under these major groups. Now I've put in the occupations that are considered as trades, like industrial, electrical and construction trades, chefs and cooks, butchers and bakers, supervisors and technical jobs in natural resources, agriculture and related production. Now these are just a general category of those job groups. It doesn't say exactly what the jobs are. So if you go into the National Occupation Classification, which will take too much time if I'm to do that now, you would see the exact jobs that are classified as skilled trades for the Federal Skilled Trades Program. The only thing with the Federal Skilled Trades Program is that there are not as many draws as the Federal Skilled Worker Programs, okay? These Federal Skilled Worker Programs, there are draws every 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks, people are invited to apply for permanent residence in Canada from the pool, but it's not like that with the Federal Skilled Trades Program. For the Federal Skilled Trades Program, you need to have at least 2 years of full-time work experience in the last 5 years, not in the last 10 years like the Federal Skilled Worker Program. And you must have a valid job offer. It must be valid of full-time employment for at least 1 year, or you need a certificate of qualification in that skilled trade issued by a Canadian province or a Canadian federal authority. So if you're not in Canada, you definitely do not have that certificate of qualification. If you're outside of Canada, what you need is that valid job offer for at least 1 year, and then 2 years of work experience, but it must be in one of these skilled trades: butcher, baker, chef, cook, processing, manufacturing, utilized supervisors, and all that, okay? Those are the ones that qualify as skilled trades. So it's not hairdresser or people who make clothes and all that. These are the skilled trades. So what if I'm self-employed? If you're self-employed, you can still apply to the express entry. What you need is at least 1 year of self-employment experience. You need your articles of incorporation or other evidence of business ownership. So you can't be just an entrepreneur without articles of incorporation or without a registered business, or you cannot show the evidence that you make your income from self-employment. And this is where people who are self-employed have a lot of issues, yeah? It's a little bit difficult, but it's the same thing. So whether you're self-employed or an entrepreneur, so long as you can show evidence of it, including reference letters from people who you have worked with, you can use that to apply for express entry. So it's not just people with skilled work experience, people who are also self-employed and can prove that they've been self-employed and they've been earning their income from self-employment in the last 1 year, can also apply for express entry. Does my spouse need to take the IELTS exam? No. So it's not necessary for your spouse or your common law partner to take the IELTS, that's the English language test. But if your spouse takes the test, it will increase your own TRS points, whoever is the main applicant. Your spouse also evaluating their education and taking the English language test will help your situation. So if you're adding your spouse to your application, it might be a good idea for them to take the test. If they don't want to take it, that's still fine. That means all the points will have to come from you. So how do I know if my work experience qualifies? This is like $1 million question. So for now, as long as you have any skilled job in the National Occupation Classification, you can apply for express entry. Now, how do you determine if your job is a skilled job? Oh God, there are so many skilled jobs. Now, the way you know is that you have to go and check in the National Occupation Classification. So I can't tell you now that your job is a skilled job or not. But I know that if you have to go to school to be able to do that job, then it is most likely a skilled job. Please note that the government has said that this will likely change in early 2023. Now, Canada is inviting any skilled job into, so Canada is not saying you must be a doctor, you must be a manager for you to be given an invitation to apply for express entry. But now they are saying that from early 2023, they are only going to be inviting people who meet certain skilled jobs, okay? Nobody knows what those skilled jobs are. The announcement was just made recently, and I just wanted to put it in there. So you can find your National Occupation Classification Code by going to the NOC matrix. So they have a website where you can search for your job title, you can search for your industry for you to determine your NOC code. Now, I'm stressing this because I've seen people who have had their express entry application refused because they chose the wrong NOC. Now, this is where you need to do the most of the work to be sure that the NOC that you're choosing, that you're doing the majority of the main duties as it is listed on the website. And we'll show you how to do this inside our program. Now, there are 3 skilled jobs that you can use to apply to express entry. There's the skill type 0, which is management jobs like restaurant managers, mine managers. So if you're a manager, business manager, whatever. There's the skilled level A, which is professional jobs. So those are things like doctors, engineers, dentists, architects. Then there's the skilled level B, which are technical jobs and skilled trades that usually call for a college diploma or training as an apprentice. So things like an administrative assistant, for example, is a skill level B. Chefs, plumbers, electricians, assistants, supervisors, all those kind of things are all involved in skill level B. So you must have work experience in either skill level 0, skill level A, or skill level B. If your work experience is in the skill level C, you will not be able to apply under this federal skilled worker program, but you can apply in other programs, and that is usually for people who are already in Canada. And that's the beauty of being in Canada. Yeah, other levels that will apply to you if you're inside Canada, but if you're outside of Canada, it must be skill level 0, management jobs, professional jobs that require a university degree, or skill level B, technical jobs that require a college diploma or training as an apprentice. I know it might sound a bit confusing, but that's how it works. And so if you go to the National Occupation Classification, you will be able to see all the, just write your job, administrative assistant, and then you click search. It will show you the skill type of your job, and then you'll be able to know whether you qualify or not. So which is easier or faster? This question comes all the time. Study or express entry? The truth is that none of them is best. None of them is easier. None of them is faster per se, because they have different criteria. Yeah, they are different. Express entry is different from study. So for express entry, you get an invitation to apply and you get permanent residence. You come to Canada as a permanent resident. For study, you have to come to study. But a lot of times, those who are a bit older or who have been in the pool for a while might want to opt for the study route. The thing is that you can still create an express entry profile even if you are coming through the study route, okay? So you can just create a profile. Creating a profile is free. Creating a profile doesn't mean that you have been invited for permanent residence, and it should not affect your application to come and study. So you can still create a study route. However, I've seen a lot of people who have been students in Canada and were still able to qualify under the Federal Skilled Worker Program, even while they were students. Yeah, they applied for the Federal Skilled Worker Program using the express entry, and they became permanent residents before they even finished schooling. So that is still possible. Okay, so now the question is, I've given you as much details as I can in the time that I have about express entry. And the question is, can you actually do this yourself? And the answer is yes, because the way I've explained it to you, you can do it yourself. Creating an express entry profile is easy. And then the internet, of course, is full of all sorts of like fancy video guides on immigrating to Canada. There are all sorts of guides on the internet, on YouTube. But then many of these guides, including the advice that you get from friends and well-wishers of family, might be filled with half-baked information. And this could mean the difference between getting your application accepted or refused. And you don't want to do all the work and then have your express entry application refused. These Canada visa officers, they don't have any smile or joy. They have so much to do. They might not contact you for clarification. They will just refuse. And that is how it works. They have the right to refuse if they are not convinced. And a lot of people have made mistakes that have cost them their chances of immigrating to Canada. And I'm going to tell you very briefly the stories of Michael and Tolani. So Michael is a guy, of course, with 4 years of work experience in a tech company, which of course he qualifies under the skill type level A. He's married with 2 children. He has a BSc in computer and he has an MBA. He's 37 years old. And a few years ago, he created his own express entry profile. It was easy for him because, of course, he's a brilliant chap. He did his research and he was able to apply. However, a few months after he applied, he noticed that his profile became ineligible. And it happens to a lot of people, and it happens to me as well. So his profile became ineligible and he didn't know why. How can a profile that was okay one day becomes ineligible the next day? And he tried all he could to figure it out. He could not. And while he was desperately trying to figure it out because he did not have the knowledge, there was an express entry draw that he could have qualified for, and he missed out because his profile was ineligible. Of course, they did not invite him to apply. Okay, if only he had a solid guide that taught him what to look out for if your profile is deemed ineligible. A lot of people have this issue of their profile going ineligible and they don't know what caused it. What about Tolani? Tolani is a political science graduate married with 1 child. She runs a trading business. She's 40 years old. She heard about the express entry in 2018. She did her IELTS, created her profile. Luckily, she got an invitation to apply for Canada permanent residence, but she was confused about how to prove that she was self-employed. And a lot of people have this confusion. Well-meaning friends gave her bad advice. She used that bad advice and her application was refused. And of course, you can imagine how devastating that is. If only she had a solid guide that showed her the best ways to prove self-employment. Okay, time will not allow me to tell you about so many people, BC, Emeka, Musa, so many people, all of them had good intentions, but ended up with regrets. I've had a lot of people come to me for study and then they tell me, oh, my express entry was refused because it was the wrong knock. It was refused because of this. And these are avoidable errors. You can imagine someone having gone through that and having their express entry refused, okay? So how can you yourself avoid these errors? How do you submit an application that cannot be refused? How do you increase your chances of getting an invitation to apply, which is just the main thing? What do you do if you can't get a reference letter or your employer just refuses to give you a reference letter? There are some employers like that. Or what do you do if you don't have all the required documents? How do you address that? What if you don't have sufficient funds? What if you cannot get police certificate from some of the countries that you need to get it from? What do you do? My advice is to get help from someone or from some people who have done this thing successfully before and who can actually provide a guidance. Now, there are some people who have done things, but they can't guide others. Yeah, so you need to get it from someone who has not only done it before, has done it successfully, and is able to guide you. And that is using what we call the Canada Express Entry Masterclass, which is a new masterclass that has just been created. It is a comprehensive and detailed masterclass that will assist you in preparing and submitting a Canada Express Entry profile and an application that cannot be refused. And the truth is that if you ignore the strategies that are here or the strategies from anyone who knows what they are saying and trying to guide you, you might hate yourself later. The thing with Canada Express Entry or immigrating to Canada is that the longer you wait, the more things change, the more it's harder. So if you have the chance and then you lose it, it's actually very sad. So you get lifetime access to that step-by-step video tutorial guide, and it's very comprehensive, I must tell you, filled with video tutorials, there are checklists, there are templates, there are sample documents, and that all is to help to make your express entry journey as simple as possible and give you all the tools you need to get your application approved the first time, because sometimes there are no second chances. And in this masterclass, you will learn how to increase your chances of getting an invitation to apply, how to properly complete your express entry profile and your application for permanent residence, how to select a proper knock code. This is so vital. How to increase your CRS points, how to increase your IELTS points. We also show you how to do that. What to do if you can't get a reference letter from your employer, or your employer refuses to write the reference letter in the format that is required. There are employers who do that. What do you do if you don't have sufficient funds? How do you prepare your letter of explanation? How do you maximize your chance of success? And so much more. That's all and more that you will learn from the Express Entry Masterclass. So if you want to come to Canada as a skilled worker with your family, you want to submit your own application, because getting an immigration lawyer to do this for you is pretty expensive, and you don't want to spend that thousands of dollars for a representative. You need guidance on how to prepare your application from someone who knows they're talking about. You want to submit an application that cannot be refused. Then what you need to get is the Express Entry Masterclass. Okay, and I'm going to show you a little bit of what you're going to get inside the masterclass. So it's just a peek preview, is not actually details. So there are actually 18 modules and 3 bonus sections showing you how to prepare your express entry profile, how to complete your permanent residence application and the forms. That's when you do get your ITA, how to upload your forms, and then of course there's general information. There are modules that talk about work experience, all the challenges that you have when you're trying to prove your work experience, when you're trying to choose your knock code, language test, how do you improve that? How do you know if you're eligible? What is it about your family that can make you ineligible? Proof of funds, job offers, police clearances, dependent family. Who exactly is your dependent family? Yeah. And then, of course, education, medicals. Is it possible for you to be refused for medicals? Provincial nomination. And then what if you've changed your name? Your name was Ogun before, you've changed it to Aliyu or something. How do you prove that? And how do you prove spousal relationships? What if you are divorced? Yeah. Or what if you're widowed? Or what if you have a new spouse? How do you prove all that? We also have a bonus section. And then we have a miscellaneous section where we talk about how to contact us, and then, of course, other services that we provide. So this is just a snapshot of what is inside the Express Entry Masterclass. We also give you 2 amazing bonuses. Now, these 2 bonuses are amazing. It was 1 bonus before, but I added a new bonus because there were just a lot of questions, and I just wanted to add it to people. It's something that could have been even sold separately, but I added them. Now, the first bonus is how to get a job in Canada under the temporary skilled worker program. Now, there are some people that might not be able to come to Canada under the Express Entry, and they want to come to Canada to work. A lot of people ask, how can I come to Canada to work? So there's something called the temporary foreign worker program. It is a program of the government of Canada, allows employers in Canada to hire foreign workers on a temporary basis. It is a temporary job, which means that it is a job that ends. It is not a permanent job. Okay. Now, the truth is that Canadian employers are ramping up their search for temporary foreign workers amidst labor crunch. So there are some jobs in Canada that people in Canada do not want to do. So employers have to look outside of Canada to get people to do those jobs. If you look at the right here, you will see the occupations that have been approved for temporary foreign worker program. And the most of it there is general farm workers, yeah? So people who work in the farm, people who do the harvesting, people who do just general farm work. A lot of people in Canada are permanent residents, and Canadians do not want to do general farm worker jobs, yeah? They don't want to do it. So employers have to look outside of Canada to actually fill those spaces. And this is what a lot of agents and a lot of people who scam people used to scam people. Yeah, this is very easy to scam people. Anybody can give you a job offer, but it has to be a job offer that is submitted, that is supported by LMIA for it to qualify. This is where people fall into the wrong hands. And that is why I wanted to put up a bonus that actually shows you how this temporary foreign worker program works so that you don't fall into the wrong hands, okay? So they also look for cooks, they look for food service providers, truck drivers, they look for laborers. And anytime it is time to do harvest in Canada, which is usually in the summer, they bring a lot of temporary foreign workers. So it is possible and it happens, okay? So it's not like something that doesn't happen, it happens. So this bonus will show you how do you go about getting a temporary job in Canada and the details of some recruiters that actually recruit for these temporary jobs. All of this is inside the bonus. And because that information changes, we will constantly be updating the temporary foreign worker bonus to give you up-to-date information of who is employing and what they are employing for, so that you can go ahead and take advantage of it. Now, note that some people have used this to also become permanent residents in Canada. So this is also a route to permanent residence that you can take hold of. You can actually come to Canada as a temporary foreign worker, work for a certain time, and be able to convert that to permanent residence. But that is a completely different thing. But you have to work for a certain length of time to be able to do that. So the second bonus we have is the ABCs of the Canada provincial nominee programs. Now, these provincial nominee programs, if you actually get selected by province, it is an automatic permanent residence, because the province is saying, hey, come and live in our province, yeah? And we're going to give you 600 points that you can add to your CRS scores. And during the next draws, you would definitely be called to apply for permanent residence. So there are actually 10 provinces in Canada. And this bonus shows you the details of how the provincial nominee program works for these 10 provinces. Now, a provincial nominee program allows each province to nominate individuals who wish to settle in their province. For example, Ontario now, so it's like a competition, because some people prefer certain provinces to the others. So there are some provinces that are not meeting their immigration numbers. So they have certain programs to attract people to their province, okay? And then when you say you want to live in their province with your family, they actually nominate you or make it easier for you to get that invitation to apply. But you have to know the provinces that it's easiest to get this provincial nomination, how to go about it without falling into the wrong hands, and how you can start now. That is what this second bonus is going to give you. So these two bonuses alone should cost some money, but I'm giving them free of charge with this Express Entry Masterclass. And there are some people who actually need the temporary foreign worker program. That's what they actually need. And there are some people who the provincial nominee program is what they need. There are lots of people who came to Canada under provincial nominee programs. So it actually does work. So how much is the Express Entry Masterclass? You're getting 3 amazing products. You're getting the Express Entry Masterclass, the temporary skilled foreign worker program, which is going to be updated. So as we hear of employers, I get to hear of employers who are employing people from outside Canada all the time. I will continually be updating this with who is employing right now, so that if you're one of those who wants to come as a foreign worker, you can actually do that. So this will be sent by email to people who get the Express Entry Masterclass as soon as we have as soon as there are job openings and there are people who are employing foreign workers. And then you also get the ABC of the Canada Provincial Nominee Program. So this is actually more than just the Express Entry Masterclass. You are getting these 3 amazing products together. So reminder of what you are getting. You and your entire family can come to Canada at last. You get great knowledge about the temporary foreign worker program and the provincial nominee program, which are other routes to come to Canada to become a permanent resident. You get all the benefits of permanent residents. There are so many. When you come as a permanent resident, you can go to school and pay the fees of a citizen. You don't have to pay those high international fees. Your children go to school for free. You get free medical. And of course, when your children are going to the university, also pay reduced fees. Okay, and then you get a chance to avoid all the mistakes that you could easily have made in your Express Entry application, and you're getting a step-by-step guide you can follow for just 60,000. Yeah, you're getting the Express Entry Masterclass, the temporary foreign worker program with updates on who is employing, so that you can actually take advantage and how to apply for these jobs, and you're getting the ABC of the Canada Provincial Nominee Program. So the Express Entry just restarted on July 6th, 2022. It had been closed since COVID started, okay? They paused it, but they just started. And there were rumors that there were going to be changes to how the program will be done, but those rumors have been confirmed that from 2023, 2023, there will be specific draws, which means that they will be inviting people based on occupation, no longer the way it's being done now. You and your entire family can become permanent residents before any major changes take place. So you need to make haste while the sun is still shining. So if you want to take that leap to achieve your Canada dream, contact whoever invited you to this webinar. Ask them for the link to purchase. This is an affiliate program, which means that it is being sold by a lot more people than myself, but you still get lifetime access to the same program, and you still get access to the same masterclass. The prices might be going up soon. We all know what's happening with dollars now. And then, of course, we're going to be updating this program with, of course, information, especially for the temporary foreign worker program. So if you want to take hold of this opportunity, please grab it now. Contact whoever invited you. Ask them for that link that you can use to purchase. So thank you for listening. And I'm going to come back to the webinar and take questions. Thank you very much. I'm going to open the chat now. I mean, you've made me to mute this thing now. Can you hear me? Oh, God. Oh. Can you guys hear me? Yes. Okay, so you can ask your question. Sorry about that break in transmission. Okay, so I'm done. I can take questions. Please do not put any link in the questions. Please do not put your affiliate links. We don't want any affiliate links. Do not put your personal details, but you can now ask all your questions. I'm going to lower everybody's hands. Ask your questions. The Express Entry Masterclass is different from the JAPA system. apparently now one is called Japa System, one is called Express Entry Masterclass. So they are different. So they are not the same thing. They are not the same. So I'm going to give about a few minutes for people to put their questions if you have any. The link to purchase, go back to the person who has invited you to the webinar and ask for a link to purchase. So if I have invited you and you're in my Express Entry group, I'm going to put the link to purchase there. If anybody else has invited you, ask them for the link to purchase. It is 60,000. How can you be asking? I just said it now in my presentation now. It's 60,000. You can come to Canada on a visit visa, of course. They've started processing visit visa, even though those who submitted long before now, their applications are still pending. I don't know why. Sometimes that's the way Canada behaves. They start processing the applications of people who submitted now. But yes, you can come to Canada as a visitor, but you cannot convert your visiting visa to a permanent visa. Canada doesn't do that for now. I think that's usually done in the US. If you come as a visitor, then you need to stay as a visitor. So I'm going to just wait for some questions, pause the chat, and then answer the questions. I'm going to give a couple of minutes, then I'll come back and answer the questions. Just give me 1 second now. Okay, just 60,000 is too much. Really? Okay, then go so go and get the information online now. If you feel that 60,000 is too much, 60,000 is not too much. 60,000 is the price. I am so sorry that you feel that way. But then look at the bonuses that you're getting. I will answer questions in a minute. Okay, so let me just pause it so that I can answer some questions. Come on. Okay, can you give me a link to purchase? Like I said before, ask whoever invited you. We're not putting any link to purchase here because there are so many people that were invited by others who also sell the product. So meet whoever invited you for a link. As a site supervisor, can I apply? Can you apply to what? Like I said, I don't know. You need to check if you actually, your experience or work experience, if it actually qualifies under the National Occupation Code. So I cannot just say, yes, a site supervisor qualifies, though it looks like it will qualify because you're a supervisor, but of course you also need to check. As a nurse, I think I need IELTS instead of Express Entry. What is IELTS? Is just an English exam that you use to apply for Express Entry, so they are not the same thing. Okay, good. What is IELTS scored? IELTS scores, the minimum is 6 in everything. I'm a tailor. What route is good for me? So tailor is not one of the skill trades. So the route that is good for you if you're a tailor is self-employed. So you show that you've been self-employed, then you can use the Express Entry. I am an administrator. Yes, you can use the route if you're an administrator. For the pending visa, when are they going to open it? No, they've started processing all pending visas. So every pending visa is being processed now. How do we know the correct link to the JAPA system? Because there are some fraudulent people that will use this to their advantage. They are like a kind of sign in the site, you know, we're paying the right account or something that would not be paying into a fraudulent account. So for now, the Express Entry is being sold on Seller and on Expertner. So those are the two places. You either pay on Seller or on Expertner. Those, if it's any other link for now, those are the two places. So someone gives you a link to purchase, it must be a link from either Seller or Expertner. So it will be a Paystack link that is linked to Expertner, or it will be a Seller link. But if you are paying to somebody's personal account, then you might be paying. And I understand this, and I'm really sorry that there's just so much scam. How can I get my language test? By doing the language test. So you need to do the IELTS test from British Council, I think. What is the chance of a man with 2 wives? My God, it is 1 man, 1 wife. If you have 2 wives, you have to choose one of them. What are the requirements for getting a job as a Nigerian? I don't know what MLS is, but then of course you need to meet the requirements of the job. Now, the temporary foreign worker program, usually those jobs are for, they don't have any special requirements. It's farm workers now. You don't need to go to school to be a farm worker. Anybody can do those jobs, but it's just that because they are labor intensive, that's why people in Canada don't want to do those jobs. They are not, you have to go to a farm. So that's why they look for people outside to come and do it. Can I still get admission? No, we are talking about express entry. I don't know what one-on-one mentoring is. You are doing great, thank you. Personal phone contact. When you get the system, you get my phone contact. Yes, we can get everything done. If you have done your IELTS and you have your WES, we can actually do it for you. How can you create your profile? Express entry, I just talked about it. Is there an alternative to English test? No, you must do the English test. So this is where you can't run away from English test. Can someone with NECO and HND get an accounting job in Canada? I don't know. I really don't know. My husband wants to apply for permanent residence at age 55. Well, for your husband to apply at age 55, when it comes to age, he's going to get 0. Because if you're 55, you're not getting any points for age. So he will have to get his points from all other factors apart from age. He can also come to study. Is there an additional point if your spouse has ever traveled to Canada before? No, you have to be a permanent resident for you to get additional points. So your spouse has to be a permanent resident. Can HND, so this is for express entry, not study. Occupations like lecturing considered by provinces. Can a lecturer be selected? So the thing with the provincial nominee programs is that the different provinces have different requirements. Some provinces will consider lecturers, some provinces may not. So I cannot say generally. I know Ontario concentrates on tech people and engineers, yeah, for their provincial nominee programs. So yeah, we do have agents that can do the process for you, but you need to have done your IELTS and your WES. The provinces that is best for someone to go and resign, all the provinces are good. Can one still get in touch with as I start the process to avoid making mistakes? So once you start the process, you would see how to get in touch inside there. Temporary workers do not require IELTS. No. It's just a job. Caregiver sponsorship route, I don't know what that route is. When I see sponsorship, I get scared because anything that has sponsorship inside is usually a lie. So the difference between common law partners and married couples is that married couples are legally married. They've gone to court and they are married. Now, common law partners are people who have been living together for a minimum of 1 year. So you can show that you have been living with this person for a minimum of 1 year, and 2 of you are probably paying rent for that apartment. 2 of you have bought, are paying rent, or 2 of you have bought property together and you have been living together for the last 1 year. That person is your common law partner and they qualify to be your dependent. Can you handle? Yes, we can handle it. Express entry, from when you create your profile to when you get an invitation to apply, nobody can predict that. But from when you submit your invitation to apply, it is 6 months for you to get your confirmation of permanent residence. IELTS, is it the only test required over there? I don't know what you mean, but if you are in Canada You can also do what is called the CELPIP. CELPIP is the Canadian version of the IELTS, okay? But if you want to do the express entry, you must do an English language test or a French language test. Can you send the slides for review? Why are you reviewing my slides? If you have an IELTS of 4.5, you need to do another one. Research officer working currently in a research institute. Well, you might be a skill level B, I don't know. You have to confirm. You need proof of funds. For anything, if you're outside Canada, whether it's provincial nomination, express entry, you need proof of funds. Even to study, you need proof of funds. So the English language test for express entry is the general test, not the academic. So it needs to be the general test. You can apply through express entry and PMP at the same time. That is even the best way to do it. Processing is 6 months. I don't know what the equivalent in Ghana cedis is. I'm so sorry. Off the top of my head, I don't know. Proof of employment or skilled workers need. I already talked about that. How can I apply for temporary worker while in Nigeria? That's what we show you inside that bonus. What skill can I take a month to relocate? Okay, I'm going to open it again. You must write IELTS. You must. You can get a job directly from Nigeria in Canada. I cannot tell you your knock now. You have to actually go to the website to check that. We cannot add the JAPA system to express entry because they are different. You cannot work in Canada on a visitor's visa. CLB and IELTS, how will I explain that now? Now, for express entry, IELTS that you need 6 points in speaking, reading, writing, and listening. You can apply for express entry from anywhere in the world. Of course, there are opportunities for nurses here. Okay, so I'm going to open it again because I think we've answered all this question. I don't have any package for foreign worker program. You can get it when you buy the express entry masterclass. You cannot get a job in Canada on a visit visa because you don't have a social insurance number. So I'm going to send, yes, you will get a recording of today's, you will get a recording. So I've opened the chat, you can still send in your questions. How do I go about the ECA? You just go to WES on your browser and then log into, I think it's wes.com, so I'm not sure, but WES, just go to Google, show you how to do it. I have invitation for postdoc. If you have invitation for postdoc, just apply for work permits. That's all you need. So if you come to temporary, I don't understand this question. Oh gosh, just ask me questions about the express and some of these questions I don't. Can you get a job on visiting visa? No. You must do WES evaluation before you apply. Definitely. CELPIP is an alternative to IELTS. Okay, so let me look at these new questions. Okay, so the IELTS has a shelf life of 2 years. So by the time you're applying for, you're creating your profile, your IELTS must be valid. IELTS is valid for 2 years and the education credential assessment is valid for only 5 years. If you submit a profile with an expired IELTS, it will not take it. It will not take it. You cannot create an express entry profile without the IELTS exam, because you're going to put your IELTS number in the system. So you're going to have to put that. You need your WES, that's your ECA. You need your IELTS before you can create a profile. So that's the first thing you need to do. You must get the WES and you must get the IELTS. So I'm going to allow questions for a bit, then I'm going to shut it down so that I can answer them. Please ask questions about the express entry, not about study. So if I see questions about study, I will jump them, okay? I will jump over it. I will not answer questions about study, okay? We've been doing study webinars for a long time, so you should have been asking your questions there, but I'll answer questions that have to do with the express entry only. So WES is an education credential assessment. If you schooled outside Canada, you need to do an educational credential assessment so that they can be sure that the BSc that you did in your country is equivalent to a BSc in Canada. That's what that WES does. So WES will evaluate your education based on your certificate and on your transcript, and they will say, yes, this is a BSc. So you can actually claim a BSc in Canada. What's the time? 3, okay? Or whatever time it is. I'm going to stop it now so that I can answer. So don't repeat the questions because I will get to your question. I can see you're repeating questions. Okay. So you say there's an agent. I don't want to know what an agent said though. He said it's strictly farm job and the processing time is 6 months. So like I showed in my presentation, yes, farm job is what you would mostly get for a temporary foreign worker program. It is mostly farm jobs. Yes, there are jobs for like food workers and all that, but farm jobs are the most popular, yeah, for temporary foreign workers. So if you cannot do farm job, maybe you should not be looking at that. Nigerians that are based in Europe. Now, if you want to know where you can write IELTS in the country where you are, Google is your best friend. Just go to Google and write, where can I write IELTS in Norway, for example, if I know, or in the UK, it will tell you. You do not need to have family in Canada to qualify for the express entry. You do not need to have family. You just need to have that skilled work experience, have done your IELTS and your ECA. You don't need family here. Family can give you extra points, but you don't need it. I don't know what you've done your biometrics for 9 months and you've not heard back from them about what. I cannot tell you how long the temporary foreign worker program will work, because of course you need to apply for the job, get the job offer, and then apply for work permits before you come to Canada. I don't know how long that would take. You cannot use NAPTEB to apply for express entry, but you can use your OND. I'm only answering questions on express entry, not about study. Someone get PNP nomination for Manitoba on express entry. If there's a Manitoba PNP that is linked to express entry, yes. HND holder qualifies so long as you have a post-secondary education. So you have an OND or a certificate that you got after secondary school, you qualify for express entry. So that answers all those questions. I will jump all those questions that are asking me about OND and whatever. So this answers it. Okay, can I change my NOC? Now, changing NOC is not just can I change NOC. You need to be doing the duties in the NOC that you choose. They need to see it in your reference letter, and of course, they will qualify. They will check as well. My husband, what if my husband writes IELTS with me and doesn't intend to travel with me? Yes, your husband can write IELTS and doesn't intend to travel with you. That is possible. You don't need family in Canada. Is it possible to apply for both the Canadian Experience class and the skilled trade program? So when you apply for express entry, you qualify for one of the three programs. So you qualify for maybe the Federal Skilled Worker Program or the Canadian Experience class or the Skilled Trades Program. So there's a way, it's a smart system. So by the time you submit your profile, it knows the one that you have qualified for. So you qualify for one of them. I can't answer this question. Is it possible to make up the required points of 600 plus for an above 50-year-old? It will be difficult, but then I don't know what, nobody knows what the scores are going to be in the future. I am recording it. So there are a lot of people asking if they stand a chance with the express entry. I explained this during the webinar, so maybe you can go and watch it. What's the difference between ECA and West? They are the same thing. So West is a kind of ECA. It's the same thing. The Express Entry Masterclass is a do-it-yourself class, yes. However, of course, we also have a section there where we provide details of professional services, if that's what you want. It is expensive, so that's why I'm creating this. It's something you can do it yourself, but of course, there are professionals. We have immigration professionals who can help you do this as well. Yes, we do. Oh my goodness, can ECA replace WES? They are the same thing. This is the same question. Okay. Some only, these are the same questions I've been seeing. What are the things a nurse needs to do? How do I get IELTS? Go to Google. The IELTS can be paper-based, it doesn't matter, just get IELTS. Truck drivers are among the skilled trade program. Truck drivers are, no, they are temporary foreign workers. Temporary skilled worker program allows you to come with your family as well, yes. Skilled workers require IELTS. So it's the same questions. I've answered a lot of these questions and I've opened the chat again. I've answered a lot of these questions during the presentation. I know it's a little bit technical for express entry, but if you go back and you listen to the recording, you would understand a bit more of the requirements for the express entry and whether you qualify, and then the temporary foreign worker program. Just take your time to go through it. Okay, so I've opened the questions again. If you've asked the question before, don't keep repeating the same question. Please, can I have my glass, my water? Sorry, can you give me my water, please? Okay, why can't I see this thing? Okay, I have done 4.5 be okay for a painter. I don't know what this means. Thank you. You can still ask your questions here for a couple of more minutes. Just drink some water. Okay, why can't I move this? Okay, so while I'm waiting for the questions, I'll just do a recap. So to qualify for the express entry, you need your IELTS or your English or French language test. You need to score a minimum of 6 for you to get the CLB 7. And you need at least 1 year of skilled work experience. And you need to do your education credential assessment, which is WES, generally WES. There are other organizations that do the education credential assessment, but WES is the most popular one. Okay, so if you want to know if your job or your work experience qualifies, you need to check the National Occupation Classification rather, and you need to make sure that you're doing 70% of the main duties. Okay, so if you say you are an admin assistant, if you go to the National Occupation Classification and check the main duties for admin assistant, you must be doing up to 70% of the duties that are listed there for you to say that this is my knock. You understand? And your employer should be willing to give you a reference letter that shows that that is your main job duties. Okay, so I'm going to stop it now so that I can answer the questions. Okay. Will a master's degree certificate give more points than a BSc? Yes. So the higher your degree, the more points you have. So a PhD has higher points than a master's. A master's has higher points than a bachelor's. Now there's another beautiful thing that I must add. You can actually add two degrees, yeah? But not a higher, you can add 2 degrees that are on the same level. I can't go into that now, but you can actually add 2 degrees together for you to get more points. That's one other beautiful thing. But you cannot add a master's and a BSc, no, because that is you can only get points for the highest degree. But then there are sort of degrees that you can put together for you to increase your points. You can, I don't understand it. OND, can I apply self-employed projects? I don't know what you mean. She has to do WES. You cannot apply without WES. Do I need IELTS and WES for temporary foreign worker program? No, for temporary foreign worker program, you just apply for the job so long as you meet the requirements. You do not need IELTS or WES to apply for a temporary job. Hotel manager. What class of qualification does an HND holder select? Whatever you select will be determined by your WES, okay? You have to submit your WES. WES will tell you what your HND is. It's not me. So it's when you do that educational credential assessment, they will tell you that this your HND is an equivalent of XYZ in Canada. It's an equivalent of maybe a graduate certificate in Canada. So that's how you know where your degree falls. You must do an educational credential assessment for that. How many months does the temporary foreign worker last? It depends on the job. And can the spouse work or school at the same time? No, your spouse cannot go to school. The audio will be available today, yes. These are the same questions now. So this is, somebody is asking about visiting visa. That one you can easily apply now. This is not about visiting visa. I cannot talk about the studies routes because this is something else. We do have professionals that can handle the process for you, so long as you have your IELTS and your WES. When you get the masterclass, you will see details on how to do that. No. You cannot be on a visiting visa and work in Canada. Some of these questions are so specific. I have applied for express entry before. 2 years ago, I was sent a mail that I'm qualified. Can I reapply? 2 years ago. I'm sure that invitation has lapsed. If you did not apply within 60 days, then it is cancelled. And it's not good for you to allow it to cancel. You would have just rejected it and said, I don't want it, or something like that. My husband is into property. Oh God. And he has 3 years experience. What route is good for him? Express entry. Master's degree gives more points. What is the best hand skill a female can use in Canada with no regrets? I'm sorry, I don't know. A truck driver is not. So these are the same questions. The proof of funds is required when you are applying for permanent residence. So when you have received your ITA, that is the only time the proof of funds is required. It is not required when you are creating an express entry profile. So don't worry about proof of funds, but you're going to have to indicate how much you have. And that amount that you indicate must cover yourself and your family. The express entry allows you and everybody that is in your family, your direct. So there's no maximum. You can see where I showed the proof of funds. Even if your children are 7, plus your spouse, plus your grandchildren that qualify, it covers all of you. So it covers all your eligible family members. Can someone from another province, Ontario, nominate someone from another province, Toronto? So Toronto is in Ontario, and Ontario doesn't do that. It's like Saskatchewan that does that. A mechanic with trade test certificate. So your certificate must be from Canada, or you have a work experience, and a job offer. Sorry. A 35-year-old has it. Everybody has a chance. So WAEC cannot replace IELTS. Farm workers definitely do not qualify as skilled workers in the express entry. Farm workers are not skilled workers because anybody can do farm work. You don't need a diploma for that. Okay, so is it compulsory to write IELTS? Yes. Single and a married man with kids. God. So you just apply with your family. So the cost, I talked about the cost when I was presenting, so go and look at the recording. Within which time limit do I have to get IELTS to start? So IELTS is valid for 2 years. So by the time you apply, your IELTS must be valid. 40 years old, my wife is 29, but I have more working experience than her. Who do you advise we should use as the primary applicant? You can use her because she's younger. She's younger, but I don't know, you didn't talk about her education, but she's younger. So for that, you can use her. How is work experience calculated? I have 5 years experience after BSc. I just bagged my MSc. I don't know. Your number of work experience is counted by your actual number of work experience, uninterrupted work experience in the same NOC code. If I enter, no, you cannot enter with a visiting visa and then do something else. Single mom can apply through express entry. Anybody, if you're a single mom, yes, you can apply. So you're asking, can a 3rd class apply for express entry? So express entry does not look at your class of degree. It doesn't care whether you have 1st class or 3rd class, or it doesn't care. So it's not like the study route. So you can have any class, it doesn't matter. The cost implication, I talked about it during the presentation. Express entry is definitely not a part of visitor's visa. How can it be now? Visitor's visa is to visit. You can only stay in Canada for a maximum of 6 months. You have to leave if you're a visitor. There's no JAPA system bundle. So if you want the JAPA system, ask whoever invited you to send you a link to purchase it. I don't know what your chances of getting a job are. Those kind of questions always flop because I don't know now. Your chances of getting a job is you need to apply, meet the qualification, and get the job. You can apply for temporary foreign worker and express entry at the same time. A teacher has the opportunity. How do you start? You create an express entry profile. So if you're a 51-year-old, what are your chances? I don't know, but you have a chance. I don't know what exactly your chances are. The process from creating profile to getting ITA, nobody knows because it depends on when you get an ITA. But by the time you apply for permanent residence, it takes 6 months, okay? 6 months to get permanent residence. So we're not talking about care certificate here. I can't answer this question. This is not about, this is express entry, not about care. I'm a technician in health information. Can I get a job offer? If you get a job, you can get a job offer. With a CRS score of 445, how can one improve given the last invite was above 500? So, I mean, I don't really know the details of the profile you have now, but of course, there are ways you can improve your scores. We show that in the Express Entry Masterclass. I can't go into that now. And the scores have been coming down since they started. Now, the reason why the scores are that high was because they've not done draws for almost 2 years, but the scores will continue to go lower, okay? I don't know if it's going to get to 445, but it's going lower consistently. Permanent residency requires proof of funds. Okay, so I'm going to ask the question again, open the, because I see it's the same questions that I'm getting. Chartered accountant getting a job. You can get a job if you see a job that would take you. Is NECO accepted for what? Oh my God, you cannot use anything to replace IELTS. You can only use CELPIP or IELTS, or you do the French exams. I've forgotten what that one is called. Okay, so like for a lot of these questions that you're asking, if you go back and look at the recording, you'll find out that we've already answered this question. So, and I don't want to keep repeating myself. So I've opened the questions, the chat again. You can send in your questions so long as it's not a question that has been asked before and you're not repeating yourself, okay? Thank you. So we have only about, how many minutes? What's the time now? We started at 2, so we have about 20 minutes or so to go. So just put in your questions and give me 1 minute. I'll be right back. Just 1 minute, please. Okay, so this is actually the last batch of questions. And after this, you can actually go back to look at the recording. I'm going to send the recording to all the affiliates, as well as put it in on social media. No, put it on the group, Express Entry group that I have. And then you can ask whoever invited you here for the recording. I'm sure if you go back and look at the recording, a lot of your questions have already been answered. I am almost certain of it, that your question has been answered. Okay, so I'm not going to open the chat again for questions. So if you have a question, put it there. I'm going to spend the next 20 minutes looking through to answer questions that I haven't answered before, or that we haven't addressed in the presentation, and then we're going to call it a day, okay? Go and look at the recording. UKVI is not acceptable. I've said it like 1 million times. It is IELTS or CELPIP. Just give me 1 minute. Okay. So I think I'll start answering now. Let's look at the. Please don't ask. I won't answer questions about visitors visa. I will not answer questions about studying in Canada. Okay. And I will not answer questions on price. The price is non-negotiable. If you know that you do not have the funds now, then maybe you can try some other routes, but the price is non-negotiable, except maybe there's a sales or a promotion. That is the price. Okay. Okay. So let's stop it so that we can answer the questions. So, and if I've answered the question before, I will not answer it again. I've answered this question before. This person, stop repeating the question. With my OND certificate, can I apply for Federal Skilled Worker Program? Yes. Can you apply for self-employed? Are you self-employed? So you cannot apply for the two. You either have skilled work experience or you're self-employed. You cannot be self-employed and have skilled work experience together. Yeah. So if you have the skilled work experience at least 1 year, or you have self-employed experience that you can prove, and you have OND, yes, you can apply for express entry. So I hope I've answered your question. Stop asking it, okay? Then, and then questions, for example, this question, as a correctional officer in a prison, do I stand a chance to study and also work in Canada? How will I know? Correctional officer in prison is not a requirement to study now. What is the requirement to study? Is what you have, your education. Okay, so I'm not going to answer such questions. I took my time so that I can just address it. I'm not doing a promo. Let's say I'm in Canada already. Can I apply for IELTS? Of course, you can do IELTS in Canada. I don't know. I have a medical degree. How do I start? You start by creating an express entry profile. Mechanical engineering, can I apply for temporary worker? So like I said before, the temporary worker programs are mostly unskilled labor. Do you understand? So it's like farm workers, unskilled labor, and anybody can apply. Okay, so long as you can get yourself to do the job, you can apply. You don't even need, a lot of times you don't need a degree to apply for it. So there are a lot of these Portuguese people and all these other people that come to do those jobs. Those people are not educated, but they come here to do temporary jobs a lot. Okay. Job experience for skilled workers in express entry must it be gotten in Canada? No. This work experience is not in Canada. It's outside Canada. Any other place apart from Canada. Okay. If you have work experience in Canada, then you're applying for the Canada Experience class. Federal Skilled Worker Program, your work experience is outside Canada, not inside Canada. If you're in Canada studying and you have foreign work experience, you can also use that to apply, okay? If I enter through express entry, can I still further my studies? You can, if you enter through express entry, you can do anything you bloody want to do, okay? You almost have the same powers as a citizen. You can go to school, you can go to schools that do not even require postgraduate work permits. You can go and do professional programs, you can do anything. WES is educational credential evaluation. I don't know how else to say it again. I'm surprised that people don't know what WES is. WES is the organization that evaluates your degree or your diploma and tells you the equivalent in Canada. If my husband cannot write IELTS, can the woman write it? Whoever is the principal applicant must write IELTS. So Canada doesn't have interviews. So they issue visas without interviews. What package? I don't answer this question. 44-year-olds apply for undergrad. No, this is not for study. Mechanical, I've answered this. I have job offer and starting to process my LMIA and work permit visa inside Canada. How many months does it take? Where do I do my Burma? If you're in Canada, why are you asking all this question now? Whoever is processing LMIA for you can answer these questions for you. Yes, we're going to send a video. Temporary foreign worker does not need proof of funds because you have a job offer. You're coming to work. Do you understand? And if that is proven, you don't need proof of funds. What you need is a work permit, which you need to apply for. So we're not talking about study. Civil servant, which job can you do in Canada? How will I know? Civil servant in what? You have a secondary school certificate. You might have to go and do a diploma. Yeah. How do I get West? Go to Google. I joined late. My husband and I are both graduates. He's a government worker. What is the first step? IELTS is important. The first step is for you to buy the Express Entry Masterclass. I've answered this question. I don't know where to start. I need to create an account, then buy the Express Entry Masterclass to show you how to do that. I have a BSc nursing, RN. Can I send all to West for evaluation? So if you have a BSc, you're sending the BSc. It's your highest education that you're sending to West, not all of them, just your highest. Someone that is in Canada for visiting visa, you cannot get PR, sorry. I mean, it's the same thing. I've answered all these questions. Share your phone number. So somebody invited you here, ask the person for those details. So just ask the person, can I have Shei's phone number? They will tell you what to do. So for now, somebody's asking type of skilled workers that are needed. So it doesn't matter the type of skilled workers that are needed here. So long as you have a skilled work experience, you can apply for Express Entry. When you come here, you can look for a job that meets your skill. You want to get into Canada first, okay? Before you start worrying about, hey, which skill is needed, okay? So if you missed out, you're going to have to watch the recording. Hopefully we recorded it. So I am 35, my wife is 33, we have 4 kids. What are the chances of getting a visa? Of getting what visa? I don't understand. Okay, so for you to create an Express Entry profile, IELTS you need is it's general, not academic. So if you have academic IELTS, go and do another one, which is general. So if you have only secondary school, go and do a diploma. I think I've answered all this question. If my husband cannot write exams, what is the question now? Your husband cannot write exam. What is your question? An engineer, how can I apply for jobs? The normal way that you apply for jobs now, you go online. I've answered all these questions. So I think that I have answered every question here, and I'm going to be sending, my life is about farming. I'm so much interested in temporary foreign worker. How can I go about it? You can go about it by getting the Express Entry Masterclass, and that's where we show you how to do it. You can write IELTS online. I don't know what that means. Okay, so I think that I've answered all the questions that are valid. There are a lot of questions here, but a lot of them are not valid. Some people are asking about study. Can a married woman pull through all this by herself? Why not now? And if you're a married woman, why are you doing it by yourself anyway? I mean, I'm just asking. So we'll probably do another webinar, maybe next month. Any idea which exam is easier between IELTS and CELPIP? I did the IELTS, I don't know. I wanted to do CELPIP, but I was more familiar with IELTS. I hear CELPIP is easier, but I don't know. As a temporary foreign worker, how long does one need to stay, work with a particular employer before getting a PR? So sitting with temporary foreign worker, it depends on what your LMIA says, and it depends on the length of your job. It's a temporary job, which means that it can be for the summer, it can be for the winter, and it will end, yeah? And when it ends, that employer can give you another job or give you another job later, or the job ends and you have to leave, whatever. That's why it's a temporary job. It's not permanent. But if you can get an employer that can give you like an LMIA for a permanent job, that's awesome. You can use that to apply for permanent residence. A hotel manager can apply? I am already on the study route. If I can get permanent residence, will this have effect on the school fees not yet paid? So if you get permanent residence while you're a student, then you will change to permanent residence and you start paying permanent resident fees. Yeah, but if you have already paid fees before, that one is gone. But if you become a permanent resident while you're a student, then your fee structure will change. Can I put my younger brother as my dependent? No, 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 no. Your brother is not your dependent. Your brother cannot be your dependent. It's your wife, your children, and probably your grandchildren will qualify. Yes, you can get the recording. Can someone get PR after working? I just explained that. Do doctors have to write IELTS? Even professors have to write IELTS to come to Canada. No matter who you are. I schooled in Canada and I did IELTS to get permanent residence. So everybody has to write it. Someone with temporary foreign worker, you can come to Canada with your family. For temporary skilled work, we do not assist people, but we show you the employers that are employing. And also, I'll also be sending emails anytime that there are job vacancies. So anytime any of those employers announces a job vacancies, I will send an email only to those who purchased the Express Entry Masterclass, not to everybody, okay? What is the acceptance rate in Ontario? I don't understand what you mean. So proof of funds, I already talked about that during the recording or during the webinar, the proof of funds. So when you look at it, you would see that. Learning digital marketing, what are the chances of getting a job? I don't know. So if you're learning digital marketing, people in Canada also are very good in digital marketing. But of course, if you see an employer that is ready to employ you from Nigeria or whatever country, that's fine. SSC holder is not a skilled worker. Skilled worker is based on job, not education, okay? Can two separate people that have separated which plan to be together in Canada do a family application? I don't understand what this means. If you're divorced, then that person is no longer your spouse, okay? So they cannot apply with you. Temporary foreign worker does not need the IELTS. I have PhD. How can I secure a teaching and research job? You can actually go to school websites or check online. I know a lot of professors on Twitter also post research jobs there. Twitter is a very good place to get that. The link to get the recording. We're still recording now. How can there be a link of a recording that is still going on? So after we finish with the webinar, I'm going to do the recording and I'm going to send it out. IELTS does not have any advantage over CELPIP. I don't know anything about painting job. The duration of farm workers, it depends on the farm job. So I can't say. It can be 1 year, it can be 6 months. It depends on the job. If my partner gets a job as a farmer, can I get a work permit? So the work permit will actually be for your partner, okay? How can you get a work permit when you are not the person that has the job now? Age specification for express entry, there's none. If my wife is close to 40 years old and she's a principal applicant and I am 50, we both have degree, do we both need to get WES? I already talked about that in the presentation. Yes, you both need to get the IELTS and you both need to get WES if you want to contribute to her scores. Okay. I don't understand this question. Self-employed person, go and look at the recording. What is the time? If I enter through Express Entry, can I still further my studies? Definitely. That is the best route to further your studies. Can a husband and wife create different profiles to increase the chances of a draw? Yes, you can do that. Can I apply as a cab driver? I don't know what that means. How do one get a provincial nomination? By applying to the province that is nominating. I've applied for Canada visa from agent before with my family, but we later terminated due to lies and stuff. Now I'm not with my wife again. The passport had expired. Can we get another passport as a single because I'm still young? So your passport has nothing to do with your marital status. So you can, of course, get another passport and you can state that you are divorced or separated. So the recording will be made possible. I will send it to all the affiliates who invited you here. I will also put it in the my own Express Entry group. And of course, somebody invited you, just ask them how you can get the recording. I filled a free online assessment questionnaire, got a response. I'm qualified for Canada Priority Residence Program. What does this mean? I have no idea. Like I said, there's so many things happening out there. You need to be very careful when it comes to immigration. There are things happening. So be sure that what you're doing, you can always go to Google and write, what is this? And Google will tell you whether that kind of visa exists. Yeah, I've heard all sorts of funny visas there. Canada has specific visas and they are not hidden. You can go to Google and search and you will know whether there's a visa like that. So master's degree gets more points. I've seen these questions before and I think I've answered everything. So food technology graduate, is it a skilled worker? So like I said before, skilled worker is not, it's about your job or your work experience. IELTS has not been removed for nationals of Nigeria or school or okay, so I don't know what you're talking about. We're talking about Express Entry, not school. You don't need IELTS for the foreign worker program, okay? So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to lower all the hands. I think I've gone through this. If you have a question that I've not answered, you can raise your hand and I'm going to call you. And we have only about 15 minutes. I'm not going to talk about study route here. I'm so sorry. So I'm going to ask Eniola, you can unmute and then ask your question. Eniola, unmute yourself.
Can you hear me? Good evening.
We can hear you. Good evening.
Please, I just want to have someone already get what is it to call it? The permission permit there in Canada there. Can the person
What is a permit? What is a permit? What is a permit? What do you mean?
The passport, the passport permit there.
Okay, I don't know what you're saying, but
do
continue.
You understand me, ma?
No, I don't. The person has work permit?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Can the person invite someone to come there to Canada there?
The only person that you can invite as a dependent is your spouse or your children. I've already talked about that. It's your spouse or your child. You cannot invite your brother, your sister as a dependent. No. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Special student. Funny name. Special student Emmanuel or something. Okay, you can ask your question.
Yes, ma. As I have my degree in agri-economics and my wife also has education media in MSc, please, what's the best package to use in order to get down there?
You can use study or you can use Express Entry. You know, it's a lot more than my wife has this or my wife have this. There's a lot more. I can't based on that say use this or use that. You can use the study route. If you're a bit very advanced in age, or if you're not, you can also create an Express Entry profile and then try the study route as well. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. And that will be Ikai. Let me see a bit more people here.
Okay. Good evening from here, Nigeria. Thank you for this opportunity. My question is first, does a certification matter? Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, does professional certification, does it give points? Like
No.
the way masters give a higher point? It doesn't?
No.
Okay. Okay, my second question, if I am applying for, after getting the master class, if I'm applying for express entry, can I as well apply for provincial nominee
Yes,
at the
I
same
said that.
time?
Yes, you can apply for the two
Okay.
at the same time.
Okay, my last question, please. Someone just asked you something regarding, okay, you just mentioned something about age. If you're advanced in age, you will advise the person tries academics. Now, when you say advanced in age, like from what age? What age
Probably if
bracket
you're
is
above 40,
considered?
if you're above 40, it's not like you cannot be successful in the express entry, but you might have more success in either using the PMP or using the study route, because after
Study route.
45 years old, you get 0 points for age. So if you're more than 45, you actually get 0 points. But there are a lot of people who have been able to become permanent residents using the Canadian experience class, even with 0 points as age. Do you understand? Canadian experience class is those ones are more lenient. So, and there are a lot more routes if you're in Canada. If you're outside of Canada, it's only those federal skilled worker program or federal skilled trade. But if you're in Canada, there are more than 80 routes that you can use to become a permanent resident. So that's why I advise people to come. I'm telling you, each province is struggling to get people to their province. There are so many routes if you're a student, or if you have work permit and you're here. So many, but if you're outside.
And this masterclass stuff that we're going to buy now contains things regarding the provinces. Like, for instance,
yes,
my husband is an IT tech guy. He studied in and he's working currently with a tech company. So I was telling him just now that after buying it, I want him to try provincial nominee Ontario, like you mentioned, since he's into tech, and then also, of course, do the express entry. So he wanted to know if we can do the two at the same time.
Definitely, you can do the two.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, I don't even know. Sheunfumi Fam. You can unmute and ask.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Thank you for the opportunity. Please, I'm into farming. I'm interested in that temporary worker. So I don't know how I can go about.
I've answered your question, Sheunfumi, when I was answering questions. How you can go about it? You have to buy the Express Entry Masterclass now, and then you have to know the employers that are employing, the real ones, not the fake ones, so not all those ones I see on social media, the real ones that are employing, and then you would now be able to use, apply to valid employers or valid recruiters. So you actually have to get the Express Entry Masterclass, and then any recruiter that is employing, I'm going to be sending the information on a regular basis. Okay. Who was next here? Okay, I think it was this person, Sister Favor. I'm tired of reading the questions, so people should just ask. Sister Favor, you can unmute yourself. You can unmute, Sister Favor.
Okay. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for this opportunity. I'm so grateful.
Okay.
Though I joined late because I'm just coming from work. I might just have a few hours to sleep and go back to work.
Okay.
So there's something I want you to help me confirm about UConn pilot program.
Okay, so if you want to ask, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I cannot answer any question about any particular provincial nominee. Just ask me a general question. If you want to ask specifically about UConn, I cannot answer. So if you're asking about UConn, then maybe you need to get the masterclass, and then so you can know what's happening in UConn, or you go to the website. I cannot answer those kind of specific. So if you have any general question, you can ask. If you don't have a general question, I can't answer about UConn. I'm sorry.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Good. Meeting myself. Ogaga. Ogaga can ask his or her.
All right. Good evening. Good evening, madam.
Good evening.
Hello. Okay. For my ECA, ASU is on strike, and so that's delaying my transcript. So I want to ask. I also have a diploma. Can I use that
Okay, so the
Or I
thing
should
about
wait
using your
for?
diploma, whatever it is that you want to use, you still need an ECA for it. I hope you
Yes, I've
know.
gotten
And
the
then the
ECA for the diploma.
higher your degree, the more points. So what you are getting with the diploma, you can actually start with a diploma, and when you actually get the ECA, you can change it. You can go to your profile and update. So that's the best that I can say.
Okay, so I can apply with the diploma while ASU is
Yes,
still on
while
strike.
you,
When the strike
yes,
is
yes.
called off, I can change.
You can change
Okay.
it. You can just go to your profile and update it.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
Okay. Mercy, I know this person has raised their hand before. You can you can unmute Mercy. Mercy. Okay, Mercy is not there. Which other hand did I see here? Vivo V2109 or something. You can unmute. Vivo V21. Yeah, okay.
Hello.
We can hear you. Good evening.
Yeah, I'm very happy and I'm very grateful to have you, ma. So my question goes like this: what if I'm being selected as in temporary workers? Do I still need more proof of fund?
No, I already answered. So temporary worker, you're not selected. You're actually applying for a job. Yeah, and then you are given a job offer. You're already coming to work. So nobody's going to ask you for proof of funds because you're coming to work. So that proof of that job offer means that you have money when you're here. So no, you won't be asked for proof of funds.
Second question. Why getting the master class? I think we are going to have direct contact to you for more details about the express entry and the master class.
Okay, so with this master class, the master class is very detailed. Yeah, so it has step-by-step video guides. Of course, my contact is there, but you're not going to have, I'm not providing guidance on a one-on-one basis. Do you understand? There's an appointment app there. If you want to my guidance or you want to talk to me directly, you need to make an appointment, and all of that is inside the master class. So it's actually a do-it-yourself, except you want to pay for professional processing. I'm not sure who raised their hand first now. Okay.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Okay. I'm not now sure who raised. I guess I'll just Amechi Kelechi. I'm going to put everybody's hand down again and then do it from who raises their hands first. But Amechi Kelechi, you can ask. I don't know who raised their hands first. Good evening.
Please, what's the least point for a penta? I wanted to really be clear because what we scored, the score was 4.5. So
on
we want
what?
to know
on what? English test?
Yes, IELTS, yes.
IELTS, the least is 6. You must score 6. Yes. For you to
does that mean
enter
that,
there.
Does that mean that we have to write it?
You have to write it again.
That we have to...
You have to write it again.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And if you have already asked the question before, why are you raising your hands again now? Special student, you've already asked question. Sorry to interrupt you. Are you done?
No, question number 2. Concerning the provincial nomination, how do we, as in, I think you mentioned a particular province that don't give nomination. So how do we really know
there's no province that don't give nomination? All of them give. Why would a province not give nomination? All the provinces give nomination.
Okay.
All of them do. All of them want people now. Okay. Rosemary Bright. Oh, yes, something. Sorry. Or Patewa or something. You can ask.
Okay. Good evening. Sorry, I came in late. Hello?
I can hear you.
Hello. Sorry, I came in late. Sorry, I read chemical engineering and has been practicing music for about 30 years. So I don't know what's best.
I don't know, sir. You have to go and look at the recording. Your question is very vague. I don't know what you're asking. What's best for what?
No,
Do you have,
like
do you
I
have
said, I came
skilled,
in late
do you
for
have
the,
skilled work experience?
yes, in
Do you have
music.
work experience? Are you working for an employer?
No, I'm self-employed.
Okay, so, and you have proof that you're self-employed. You have incorporation documents, you have invoices, you have proof that you're self-employed. You earn your income, your main income, your life income from your self-employment.
Yes.
Okay, fine. If you can prove all that, then you can apply for express entry. That's all.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
You must be able to prove beyond reasonable doubt that you're self-employed. I will not say more than that. Okay, thank you. Kehinde Utman. I'm so sorry, I don't know who raised their hand first. I've lost track. But Kehinde Utman, you can
Hello,
unmute.
madam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good evening, madam.
Good evening, sir.
I want to ask, let's say someone enter with a foreign worker. Can he, and when he gets to Canada, can he begins with his academic schooling?
No. You came here to do foreign work. That's what you are going to do. You cannot come and school. Is that all your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, all right. I need to know who I'm muting. How did I do that now? Who was next? I don't know. Faith Olaye. I'm going to put everybody's hand again down. Faith, you can ask. Unmute yourself and ask.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Yeah, I have let me start by the first question, please. How do I get the masterclass? That's number one.
How did you get here? Who invited you here?
Yeah,
I will answer it
a
one
friend
by
of
one.
mine.
Okay, so
Okay.
ask them.
Okay. My boss in the office gave me the link, so that's how I get here.
Secondly.
Then secondly, I and my husband, we are both graduates. We work also with government. He worked with engineer. He's an engineer. Me also, I work with health. But we've been working for some years now, like more than 5 years. So I want to ask, if we want to apply for the skills job, the first thing to do, you said IELTS is very compulsory. Now I have English in proficiency from my school. I want to ask if English in proficiency can be replaced with IELTS, or IELTS stand on its own.
IELTS must be done. English proficiency does not replace it. You must do an English test or a French test, yes.
Okay.
Third question. That's all right.
Yeah, then third question, sorry. Then third question, please. I need to get into your class, and I need some link to how can I get into the master class.
That's why I said ask the person that I cannot. The reason why I cannot put a link here is because there are different people here that invited people. So ask whoever sent you, to tell you where they got the link, and then that person will know how you can get the master class.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Galaxy 10. I don't know how many more people I can take. I need to go and have lunch. Galaxy 10. So I'll take 5 more people.
Good evening.
Good evening. Because I'm
Thanks
asking
for this
questions I've already.
opportunity.
You're welcome.
Yeah, please, I want to ask, presently I'm out of job. I want to know if my past work experience, my past jobs can be used.
If you have at least 1 year of skilled work experience in the last 10 years, yes, it can be used.
But presently I'm not working, so am I qualified?
Doesn't matter. Yes.
All right.
In the last 10 years, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Techno Pop 5. Where's this one now? Techno Pop, POP 5. You can ask your question. Okay, there's Techno, you're not there, right? Okay, well, let's move now to Geraldine's iPhone. And then I'm going to lower everybody. I just want to take 5 more people. So the 5 people that raise their hand, I'll write the names. Let me get a pen so that their hands first after I lower everybody. I said Geraldine's iPhone. You can ask.
Hi, Shay.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Very well, loud and clear.
All right. Good evening from this
Good
side.
evening. Good evening.
Okay. Yeah, I want to know if someone outside of Nigeria, like in the UK, can apply for foreign work.
Definitely now.
Okay.
Yes, application doesn't affect where you're applying anywhere.
Okay, so I don't need to come down to Nigeria to apply.
Oh
and
my
all that.
goodness, no way. You don't.
Okay, thank you
All
very
right.
much. That's the question.
All right.
Yeah.
Joel or Milan or something. Joel or Milan, you can unmute yourself. And then I'm going
Thank
to
you so much. Can you hear me?
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. I want to ask you, though I joined it, and notwithstanding, I want to ask you talking about the express entry, skilled workers, and some other things like that. And you are talking about one book, what do you call it?
Masterclass.
Yeah, we are part of those that subscribe to
Japa system. Okay.
Well, yeah. So most of the things that hook most of us down is the proof of fund issue also. What's going to be our own benefit
I
in
don't
this
understand.
Masterclass whatsoever?
I don't understand. You need to ask me a specific direct question.
Are you giving a particular discount? That's what I'm asking you.
I did give a
that-
particular discount when we released it. There was a discount for those who had the Japa system. If you missed it out, that discount is way gone. So there's no other discount. If you had the Japa system and you need the express entry, then you have to get it at the 60,000. I did give that discount and some people took advantage of it, but maybe you didn't. So
No.
that boat has sailed. I'm so sorry. Is that all the
Thank you.
question you have? Okay. So I'm going to lower. I'm so sorry. I can't. There are so many hands raised, and you're asking questions that I've already answered. I'm going to lower everybody's hands, and the first 5 hands that I see raised, I want to write them down. The first, I'm going to lower. I haven't lowered yet. Now I'm going to lower everybody's hands, and then take just the first 5 people because I need to stop. It's past 4, past 9 or 10 in Nigeria, or 9. It's past 4 here. So I've lowered everybody's hands now. I don't even know. This is WAEC. Oh my God. Okay, fine. I'm just going to do random here. Okay, Shade is smiling. So, Shade, ask your question.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, I can hear you.
Okay. My question is, I don't know if you have answered this before, but I joined, I later left, came back again. So can we do the two at the same time, the express and the study
Yeah, Shade.
Okay.
You are taking somebody's chance. When you're asking a question, I've already yes, you can actually do the two. Yes. So you can mute yourself back. Thank you.
Okay.
Gideon Taiwo. I think I saw Gideon. Gideon Taiwo, you can ask your question.
Yeah, good evening from this side.
Good evening.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity to give it to us.
Okay.
So I want to ask that somebody who is on study route, how long can somebody who is there, how long can he stay before he or she can invite his dependents?
We're not talking about study. I'm so sorry. I have to mute you. So Sylvester 2.
Okay, good evening. I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. So my singular question, because most of them have been answered, the single question I just have for you is so if I'm applying with my wife, so how, and both of us write IELTS, and let me say I'm a graduate, she's a graduate, how does her point, if I'm the principal applicant, add to my points? That's just my question.
So if you are the principal applicant and you are applying, your spouse is accompanying you, it's a form now. So there's a place where you write, my spouse is accompanying me. Yes. Has your spouse done IELTS? Yes. What is her score? 6, 7, 9, 8. And it will calculate it. So it's a smart system. So if you say your spouse is accompanying, it will ask you those questions. And if you put their marks there, it will calculate it for you. It's a smart system. If you say your spouse is not accompanying, or even if your spouse is accompanying and you say they haven't done the IELTS, it will not calculate any points for them. So that's how it works.
Okay, so sorry, man. So when it calculates that her point, it adds it to my bottom line.
It adds it to your own points. Yes, you are the principal applicant, so it adds. So your spouse gets a certain number of points. It's not a lot. I think it's 40. Do you understand? You get the most points, but if your wife has those IELTS and WES, it will add her points to yours. Okay. Did you get it? Oh, he's no longer here. Okay, Isaac, I think that's the next person. Isaac. I've asked Sylvester, I've asked Isaac.
Thank you so much. You have done a very, very great job. I think part of my questions have been answered. I think I want to also to ask that pastors and a pastor, pastors also included in the expression 3, the religious worker.
So if they have skilled work experience, so just because a pastor in quotes is not a job, except you, no, I guess no. So it has to be, yeah, it has to be a job, work experience. If you're a pastor, then maybe you need to ask a church here to invite you to minister or something else. There's a way pastors do it, but no, it's not a skilled work experience, I think.
Okay, I think what I really saw was that they put in the NOC.
You saw clergy there?
I saw clergymen and religious
Okay,
workers.
good.
I saw this.
Fine. So if the work that you do fits into that, and you are actually paid, you are not working for free. If you are paid for that job, and your employer can actually give a reference letter that shows that you are doing 70% of that clergy job, yes, then it qualifies.
Yes, actually, as an Anglican priest, we have all our parents' salaries structures, and we have our pay slips every month.
Okay, then it's fine. So long as you meet the job main duties, I'm stressing that you must be able to meet those main duties in a knock. So if you do, it qualifies, yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, who else? I think I've answered everybody's. I've 4:10. It's past 4. I don't want to call somebody that will now come and ask the same question. So Bamidele Akintade, you can ask your question.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah,
I'm going to lower everybody's hands again.
I'm Bamidele. Please, I wanted to ask this question from you. I have once applied for express entry, which I was sent a mail. I am qualified for the program. But during those times, there's a person, he said he's an American and Canadian immigrant lawyer, told me I'm going to pay $1,300, that I'm going to pay that via my account. So if I have up to that in my account, then I should tell him my ATM serial number so that the money can be deducted. I don't know if this is the right way or it is not.
I cannot answer that question. I don't know the person. I don't know the route. I can't. I'm sorry. You can't be asking me a question about what somebody else did. I don't know. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I can't know now. So Ekolun, because I'm so sorry. Ekoluanye. You can ask your question. Ekoluanye. Are you there?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, good evening, ma.
Good evening.
May Almighty God bless you for this good job you are doing.
Thank you. Thank God.
Yeah. It's not a question. The guy that asked that called earlier on, that spoke earlier on, concerning those of us that got the JAPA system, I want to plead, man, because I'm one of those that got the JAPA system and I did not benefit from discounts for this one.
No, if you're asking about JAPA system,
please,
I'm sorry. No. There's no relationship between the two. Camis, can you ask your question? Camis, I'm so sorry, I'm not being rude, but we're talking about express entry, not JAPA system. If you have a question about JAPA system, that means you have my contact details. Send me a message. Camis, do you have a question that hasn't been answered? Maybe am I looking at the wrong person? Do you actually have a question? Okay, so we'll leave Camis and we'll ask Blessing, because I think I saw Blessing before. Blessing.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
I can hear you. Good evening.
Please, can I get a direct consulting just to pay you? You do the job for me so that.
Okay, so when you get the express entry, then you can ask for direct consulting.
How do I get the express entry? Sorry, I just
the master class. How did you get here? Who invited you to this class? To this Zoom?
So can I get your contact from?
How did you get to the Zoom? Who invited you? Can't hear. I can't hear. You say what?
Nobody invited me.
Then how did you know that there was a Zoom now? How can nobody invite you? How did you know that this Zoom exists? Okay. Sorry. I have to mute you because I think there's some background noise. Sorry. Abdul Razak Yahaya.
Yeah,
So
ma'am, good evening.
Good evening. I think I've
Thank you
gone
very
past my
much
5
for
people.
giving me this opportunity.
Uh-huh.
I have only 2 questions to ask.
Uh-huh.
The first one is about the West. Last I applied the West. They applied a school.
We are not talking about studying.
Yes,
If your question is about studying,
yeah, it's about the express. I'm saying that I applied for the West last year, but it was the for school. Do I still need to inform them so that they use?
Okay, so sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt. I know where you're going. So when you did your West, it gave you a report, right? A West report.
Yes, please.
How long ago? Was it up to 5 years ago?
No, it's barely a year now.
So you can use it. So long as it's within 5 years, you can use it.
Okay.
The most important thing about the West is just to say that your degree is equivalent to this. That's all.
All right. And then my last question is about, I'm a Muslim, and then you see Muslims, normally when you marry, we don't have marriage certificate. So
oh my goodness.
If
you don't have marriage certificate.
No, we don't have a registered marriage certificate.
Okay.
So how will I use her as my wife? Or
you might have to go to a court and get something. You must prove that you're married. I mean, you can't just say I'm married. So maybe you go to a court. I don't know. I didn't know Muslims don't have a marriage certificate. I'm just saying that for the first time. And we do these applications for Muslims and they submit something. So I have to, maybe you go to a court or something and then ask for, they usually like legal things. So if you can get something from a court, that will be fine, I think.
Thank you very much. God bless you, ma'am.
Okay, you're welcome. And then the next person is, I saw one Matthew somewhere. Matthew, sorry, Ombu something. It's Ombu Dede. Matthew, you can unmute and ask. And I've gone through my list. Everybody on the list has been asked. Matthew Ombu Dede, please unmute yourself.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. I can hear you. Can you hear me? Where is the Matthew person now? Matthew? Okay, so we're going to mute Matthew. Where is he now? And then Ayodele Bejide. So it's 4:16. Please ask your question.
Thank you,
I'm going
Shay.
to do 5 more
Thank
minutes and then I have to go.
My question goes like this. What of this CRS? What of if the point is not up to the qualification? What can the person do?
You will wait. You will wait until your point is up to, and then in the meantime, you do everything you can to increase your points. So they do draws every 2 weeks. If they do draw this week, you didn't reach
What
up.
can
You
person
wait
do
now.
to increase points?
So that's what we teach in the masterclass. So I'm just taking questions here. I can't go into that. That is a whole teaching, and I can't do that. So if you want to know, you get the masterclass. But you can actually increase your points. You can wait. You can do PNP, whatever, while you wait. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Fakola Deborah. And then after that, we'll do Ben. Then we'll do Shooks. And then I think I'm going to call it a day. So Deborah, you can ask.
Okay. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah. Thank you for this seminar. Please, I want to ask a question concerning study.
I'm not going to answer questions concerning study. I'm so sorry. This is about, if your question is not related to express entry, then it doesn't qualify. I'm really sorry.
Late. Okay.
So this is not about study. Are you asking about express entry or about study?
Hold on. When will another seminar on express entry comes up?
I don't know.
When will it come up, please?
I really don't know. Maybe next month. I can't say now. We are just doing one. It hasn't finished. I don't know when the next one will be. Okay. Okay, so Ben Wazie Stanley, you can ask your question.
Good evening.
Good
Thank
evening.
you for this opportunity. You said we should reach out to the person who forwarded the link to us to get across to you. I just did that, and the person said a third party sent to him who sent to me. So it's becoming difficult reaching out to you.
A third party sent to him.
Who
What
now
is a
sent
third
to
party
me?
now?
A third party, someone else sent to him who now forwarded to me.
Okay, so that person that sent to him now, do you understand? And the reason.
Can't you just direct your link, your address?
No, I can't. No, because there are other affiliates who invited people. I can't put my link. It's a rule that I have. I can't break it. I'm so sorry. And then, of course, these links are all over the place on social media, so you can always find it by yourself. This Express Entry Masterclass. I'm so sorry about that. Okay. Chooks. I think that should be one of the last of the names I have written down. You can ask your questions.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay. Thank you very much for this webinar. My question borders on West. And just to, before I quickly ask that, let me quickly attend to the person that talked about the Muslim person. There is this marriage registry that they have. It's under Ministry of Internal Affairs, which he can go and do a court registry, register marriage, and then to be acceptable everywhere. It's normally accepted internationally too. So he can go and do that and get a certificate.
Okay,
so,
thank
but
you
my
for
question borders on West. Now, with the state of ASU strike now, I've already done my master's degree program, but I've not been able to process my transcripts because of the strike. Now, if I come to West, I have my BSc. If I upload my BSc now, use it and do the registration, can I later come back?
Yes, and change it, right, and update it.
And change it to my master's
yes.
Result.
You can do that. You can change when you create an Express Entry profile. You can change your English language scores. If you do another English language score, you can change. If you do another West, you can change. Yes, you can change it. And it will recalculate your scores for you. Okay. I hope I answered your question. You're no longer here.
Yes, you did.
Okay, yeah, you can change. Have I asked this person before? I have. I can see people. Sylvester Okoje, like I've asked this person before, right? I've asked you, you've asked the question before. Sylvester Okoje. You can unmute yourself and talk. Okay, not ready. Gideon Adele. I can't even remember those I've asked before. Gideon Adele, do you have a question?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Can hear you.
Yes, my question goes
If you have
like,
asked a question before, sorry, I'm not going to ask you again, so you might as well put your hand down.
okay,
Okay, go
can
ahead.
you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, for someone that is in Canada and want to apply for express entry,
Yeah.
how soon can they process it? If
I
the
don't
person
know
has a
now.
limited time,
What do you
like
mean
maybe
by
3 months. If the
the person is
came
here as a
in
student?
Canada, no, visiting as a visitor.
Okay, so you can, if you're a visitor, you have to leave Canada within 6 months. You cannot stay beyond 6 months, or else you would have violated the terms of your visa, and it will be hard for you to apply for anything. So just gradually take yourself and go out of Canada and apply from outside Canada.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. So Grace the Diamond, I'll just answer those people whose hands I can see raised for now. Grace the Diamond. I think this Victor has answered.
Hi.
Victor. Hello.
Yeah. Good evening.
Good evening.
I want to ask. I want to find out from you this regional immigration pilots has actually ended, or
which one? Which one? Which one in particular?
The rural immigration pilots.
Okay.
Yes, whether it has ended. Just
so
like
rural immigration requires a job offer. It hasn't ended, but it requires a job offer. I guess that's why it's not so. Yeah, you need a job offer from the community that you're going to, or you need to have schooled there, or you need to have a relative there. That's how that rural works.
Also, I also want to ask. I'm a medical or a healthcare professional. I'm a biomedical scientist, and I had reviewed the Saskatchewan immigration and that's provincial nomination program, and I found out that I needed to be eligible to be registrable in the regulatory body for me to continue my application process. On that note, I am asking if I can gently change my NOC.
So if you change your NOC, I mean, you've already applied with one NOC before. Saskatchewan, they are very touchy. So if you have one NOC, they are very touchy. You have one NOC, you can't change to another NOC. Based on what now? Your NOC can't be changing now.
No, I have not. I have not even applied either. I'm only asking if I can do it on my own before I get into the pool. Now,
if you can do what?
I can change my NOC, because the present NOC, that's my profession and what I'm practicing now. If I should use it, it's going to cost me a lot of money and a lot of waiting period for them to process the whole thing for me to.
Okay, so sorry, I'll just summarize. So for Saskatchewan, your work experience has to coincide with what you studied. Okay, so long as if you change the NOC, it coincides with what you studied, I guess it's fine.
It's okay.
Yeah, your work experience must coincide with what you studied for Saskatchewan. It must. Yes. You cannot be an engineer and then you studied business administration, for example. They will not take you.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right.
Then thirdly, I'm above 30. In fact, I'm above about 40, and I want to ask if my CRS is about 320 something. Is it okay? Can I?
It depends on. I don't know. I cannot predict the scores of the CRS, future CRS scores. I cannot predict. So it depends on what the future scores are. There's so much noise. Maybe it's from me. I don't know. So I can't predict. Oh my God, I have to put this up. Sorry about that. So Victor, I don't know if I've asked this Victor before. Sorry, Victor. I'm going to ask. Let me just say the people I'll ask, and then I have 5 minutes. Victor, James,
good.
and
Good day,
then
madam.
Ayodeji, and then I will end. Then Fatima has 1 million hands up. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, madam. Good day.
Good afternoon. Or good
Thanks
day,
for
whatever,
this.
sorry.
Yes. Please, can I use Cambridge IGCSE result?
No, you have to use IELTS. No. For English, right?
Yes.
IELTS or CELPIP.
Okay, then secondly, I'm here to defend my PhD thesis.
Okay.
So can I put that in the West when I'm putting my certificate?
No, you can't, because you don't have, they will ask you, have you graduated? Do you have a degree yet? So if it's no, you can't use it.
So I should put only masters.
That's the only one you can use, because that's the one you've graduated from.
Okay.
So yes. So if you get your PhD, you can go and update it.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, welcome. So Jen's true words, then Ayodeji, Fatima Ali, then and I would have to stop. I'm so sorry. I've been talking for 2.5 hours and I'm tired. So Victor, you can ask, or have you asked before? Victor, you've asked a question before, right? Okay, Jen's true words.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Are you asking a question or you've asked? Okay, Jen's true words. You're the one we are waiting for. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Going, gone. Okay. Ayodeji, please unmute yourself and ask. 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Gone. John Adene. I'm sure you actually just are desperate to ask your question. So ask, since these other ones are calling.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this opportunity since.
Okay.
Okay, see, I've done my West, I've done IELTS before, but my band score was 6.5.
Okay.
So can I join the pool while I rewrite the
What
exam?
is your lowest score on any of them?
4 points.
So it does not qualify. Yeah.
5.5.
For anything, no, you have to do it again. You have to do IELTS again, sorry, and get at least 6.
Wait. Okay, I applied for a remark, so I got 6.5. I got 6 in all the 4 courses: writing, reading. I got 6 in everything.
So if you got 6 in everything, that's the CLB 7. You can use it to apply.
Okay. So what's the next step to do? Because I've done my West already.
We just said now that you can use it to apply. The next step is to apply.
Okay, how do I apply to join the pool?
So you get the Masterclass to learn how. Is that really what you're asking me here? I should tell you how to apply. We're just doing a Q&A now. Hey God,
Okay.
I can't be telling you how to apply here now. That's what the Masterclass is for. Or you can go and look online or look on the Canada .ca website and find out how you can apply. Okay.
Okay.
So I think the last person is Fatima Ali. It's already 4:30 or already 9:30, right? 9:30.
Hello, good evening, Shay.
Good evening. How are you?
Yeah, fine, thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity. So I want to quickly ask, my spouse has a study permit in Canada, and I am joining him, and I'm also supposed to go into the pool. I have IELTS already, the express entry pool, but I heard you saying something that he has to have an IELTS too. Is it compulsory since he's studying there already?
Okay, if he's a primary applicant, he needs IELTS. Do you understand? If he's applying as your dependent and your scores are fine, then he doesn't need it. But if he's the primary applicant, he needs IELTS.
No, but he's the primary applicant.
Yeah, the primary applicant. So if your points are fine and you don't need his points, then he doesn't need to do it. But if you need his points, then he needs, especially if you put him as accompany, then
he's accompanying.
He's accompanying. So there's that 40 points for him that you can never get. It is for your spouse.
Okay, okay,
So,
okay, okay.
so the highest you can get is less than that 40 spouse because you have an accompanying spouse.
Okay, okay, okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Okay.
And have a nice day.
You too. Okay, so I think I've tried, and it's 4:30 or 9:30 in Nigeria. It's 4:30 here. So I'm going to do the recording and send it as far and wide as I can. I'm sorry for those who got a link from someone and they cannot communicate. I mean, the link has traveled far and wide. I know some people ask me for the link so that they can send to their friends and family. So just ask them why they got the link. It will be unfair for me to put a link here because this is an affiliate program and there are a lot of people who also sell the program. We're selling through Expertnaire and Seller for now. So you must purchase through Expertnaire and Seller. So whoever sent you a link to purchase is going to send you a link from Expertnaire or Seller. So thank you everybody for staying up until now. I know it probably is late and some people want to go to bed and you have already used a lot of your data to do this. And I have allowed everybody to unmute just to say thank you and bye-bye and enjoy the rest of your week. Okay, thank you so much. And bye for now. Okay, so I'll try and have another webinar next month.
Thank you.
I need to go and rest. Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye. 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 Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much. Bye. Bye. I can see some future Canadians. I can hear your voices. I can hear your voice. Bye.
Good night.
Bye. Children
Bye,
are the
thank you.
ones
God
that
bless you.
enjoy Canada the most. Children enjoy this place. I don't know why. Okay, so bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much. I appreciate. Thank you. So I'll try and send the recordings. Bye bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye everyone.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye Shay. Bye everyone. Bye.
Bye Shay.
Bye. Bye. Bye Funke. Bye Gideon. Bye Rita. Bye Rejoice. Bye Techno. Bye Vic. Bye Patience. Bye Fruit. Bye Bemishala.
Bye, Shay.
Bye Chibuzo. Bye Funke. Bye Geraldine. Okay, so I have to go now. How do I get out of here?
No, no, say no, no. Let me say answer. I saw her before
How
asking.
do I end this now?
Please don't go.
I have to end this. How do I do
Let's
that?
have the seminar all night.
I want to leave.
Madam, how much is it?
Okay, bye everyone.